Hi everyone, welcome to Hawkhaven Winery, where passion meets expertise in winemaking. In this video, we're going to have you meet our incredibly talented head winemaker, Connor. With a wealth of knowledge and a very discerning palate, Connor really helps to craft each varietal and blend to ensure an exquisite tasting experience that defines Hawkhaven Winery. So we're excited to have you join us as we go a little bit more behind the scenes into the art of winemaking, and let's go ahead and jump right in.
Hi, I'm Connor, winemaker at Hawkhaven here. My journey into winemaking originally started actually from the hospitality side. I was a pastry chef intern working at a multi-Michelin star hotel and restaurant in England, where we had the owner of the hotel owned a property in Calistoga, California. We had a master of wine there who extremely knowledgeable in the wine program, and I really kind of piqued my journey into wine there, just starting to learn about different varieties and food pairings. I was interested at the time in following possibly the route of a sommelier, but I always liked the science aspect of it more and wanted to engage more in the production side. So that led me towards pursuing education and degrees in chemistry and going on to graduate school for food science and focusing in fermentation. I just think the chemistry, the biochemistry of winemaking, the complexities of it, the nuances is extremely fascinating. Basically on a weekly basis, my week starts with evaluating the production schedule and working with my assistant winemaker who what laboratory analysis and wine analysis we need to have occur. As we transition throughout the year, through the spring here, late winter into spring, we're bottling every month. And then as we start to go into bud break, typically around May and through June in the vineyard, we'll be getting ready here in the winery, not only for harvest, but we'll be getting ready to pull red wines out of barrel and putting our blends together, final treatments on those, and getting those ready to bottle in early August. And then late July, we'll start, once we're post-Veraison, we'll start taking field samples, analyzing our fruit samples, and that'll basically occur on a weekly basis up through harvest time. As we move into mid to late August, we'll start to receive our sparkling grapes. And then as we get towards Labor Day, we start to receive our whites. We'll have early ripening reds that'll come in, depending on the growing season, could be mid-September, some cases late September, and then we'll be going into later ripening reds. So throughout the harvest, basically the day involves a lot of cleaning, cleaning equipment, receiving tanks, crusher to stemmer, cleaning the presses and all of our pumps. And on a daily basis, it's an early start, and fermentations and primary fermentations will carry through. We'll be focusing on those, analyzing those on a daily basis all through September, October, and November. And as we move into December, we're getting ready for our final treatments for barreling down. So it's fairly cyclical, with things varying maybe a couple weeks here or there every year. One of my favorite parts about winemaking is seeing the final product and the variation, vintage to vintage. Because we're a smaller winery, every vintage you can see the differences from the weather patterns and the age of the vines in the final product. It's very challenging in some years, but usually very rewarding. Some years are better than others, but I do like that here I have a lot of creative freedom to kind of guide the wines in the way that we want, as well as with product development. Nice thing too is we're heavily invested in continuing to grow in sparkling production. Sparkling wines is my absolute favorite, and we've just continue to expand our product line with that and trying to always hone in and achieve higher quality in our sparklings. I just find sparkling production highly rewarding. And I'd say blending. When we sit down, typically at the end of harvest, we sit down and start putting together blends for the vintages from the previous year and evaluate all of the wines from current year's harvest. And then we'll blend usually again when we'll reevaluate and tweak our blends later in the season when we're getting ready to bottle those. So since working here at Hawkhaven, a couple things that I've learned in the winery, I would say is heavily focused towards the sparkling side, both in our tank production and method Champagne wall wines. One of the projects that we're working on this year is creating a brut rosé. So dealing with making a high-end base red wine in order to achieve our color is definitely something new that we haven't done before. That is a very interesting product, and the science behind that is extremely fascinating. It's something, unfortunately, we won't see the end result probably for 3 to 4 years after it's aged in bottle. And again, along the sparkling line, dealing in-house with our Charmat tanks and a relatively new piece of equipment for us, our isobaric bottling line, just learning the ins and outs of using that, having to troubleshoot it, basically having to know every single nuance to that is a challenge. Some days it's works seamlessly and other days it's very fickle. And we always, working with a consultant of ours, there's always new tweaks to our program, our winemaking program, from ongoing research out in the industry. So we're always trying to implement new techniques, technologies. There is a new piece of technology we just started to implement this past harvest. It'll be fully implemented next harvest, that is both on our whites and for our reds. So we're excited to introduce that and to see how that affects our wines moving forward in terms of, for the reds, color density, flavor and aromatics, and on the whites, enhanced aromatics and flavors with mitigating tannins. So.
And that's our behind the scenes glimpse into the passion, the expertise, and dedication that goes into creating every bottle of wine here at Hawkhaven Winery. We love to show how there's a story behind each of these wines, and behind every bottle, there's a story of tradition, of hard work, and a love for winemaking. If you enjoyed this behind the scenes look into our winery, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. And we look forward to seeing you in our next video.